Hi guys, so we have conducted the online session on this Friday yesterday, but unfortunately our first part has not been recorded because of somewhere I think some of you because of some error has lost that recording. So I will do another recording so for that liquidated damage part. So this is not the same thing that we have discussed yesterday. So facts might be changed, but I will go quickly as a review since some of you have not been participated on yesterday. So one was the question arose while going on the presentation was that you didn't have an idea about the kind of format of feeding. So I thought in here first give you an idea about the format of FIDIC and then move to our main topic for liquidated damages. So FIDIC, it is a kind of guideline for the our contract document. It is including basically main section called general condition where you can see it here like this. So in general conditions, uh, there are few kind of clauses and subclauses. So basically it is having 20 main clauses, and each and every main clause there will be having subclauses. So like general provision, one general provision will be coming as clause number 1. So under clause number 1 there might be having some other clauses like 1.1, 1.2 up to 1.14. So that is the basic of format of the standard condition of contract. So not only in FIDIC, even in the SBD also you can see that general condition part. So under each and every condition they will be discussing regarding the main issues or how to administrate your contract. If something happen, what is the way that it is need to happen, or if there is any issue, what are the remedial action that we can take, what is the compensate, whatever the things it will be discussing under this general condition. And one more important thing regarding general conditions, so though we are using it for our own project, since those standard documents has been published by some authorities or some agencies, we cannot change this general condition in accordance with our certain information of our project. So some condition might not be relevant to your project, or some conditions you might be required to change those conditions, but unfortunately you cannot do any adjustment under this main condition. So for that there will be having another two section for that to change the details as per your own project or something like that. So general condition it will be consist of 20 section. First one is general provision. So this section they will be giving a basic idea of definition and what is the language that you are going to use, what is the law, is it Sri Lankan law or else is it China law, whatever the thing, and how do you what is the order of your documents, what are the content of your document, and something like general part. And then under main clause 2 they will be discussing regarding the employer, what is his responsibility and what is his liability, and what are the benefits he need to have, and what is his role in this contract. And same thing like for the engineer also, clause number 3 it has been given describing his role, and for the contractor samely they have been described some points under this clause number 4, and through these sub clauses. So contractor might be having so many sub clauses because he is the one who is the actor of the so-called project. And then separate thing will be there for nominated subcontractor and staff labor. So likewise it is going, so it will be addressing all part of the contract how to administer and what to do and what are the remedies. So something like that. So clause number 12 and 13 are the most important thing for us as a quantity surveyor, because 12 will be regarding measurement and evaluating and 13 will be variation. So these two main clauses is totally under our administration, because we are the professional category who will be involving for these two tasks. Okay, and you will be really involving for other tasks as well, but those two is a very big thing. And clause number 20 will be the claim clause, that is the last one. If there is a claim, what to do, how to do, what is the procedure, what you can do, what you cannot do, so something like that it will be described. Okay, so that is general condition. And again, it is important to know that you cannot change any clause or any sentence within this general condition section. It should be as it is. Okay, so that is the importance. But since we are, so this document has been published internationally, so it will be using not only in Sri Lanka, not only in China, not only in India, but in Middle East, UK, America, whatever the country in the world, each and every corner they will be using this document. So in that case, we might be having some specific things to our country as well as some specific things to our project as well. So when it comes to such situation, we need to do some adjustment for these clauses and our contract document. So for that, they will be giving one important section. At last, yeah, it's here. So this is called appendix to tender. So in FIDIC it is called as appendix to tender, but when it comes to SBD it will be contract data. So you need to use the words as per the document that you are referring. Okay, so if you are using a FIDIC it will be appendix to tender. If you are using SBD it will be contract data. So under this thing, what you are going to specify or what you are going to do is, you will be giving your project specified data. Okay, so something like that. So employer's name. So it is only for your project. You have to give your details. Contractor's name, engineer's name and the address, and time for completion, how many days, defect notification days. So it is normally 365 days. If it is going to be changed, you can specify in here. So something like special cases which can be changed from project to project are going to be specified in here. So project specific details. So that is one thing. But if you want to change some other details like that I have mentioned, that there were a clause in general condition that order of your contract document. So if you want to change that order, so as per that order, agreement will be having the highest priority. But if you want to give the highest priority to your letter of acceptance, then you want to change that clause. Ne? But such changes, the content of the clause cannot be changed in this appendix to tender or contract data clause. It is this section is only for changing the things. This is only for the giving information which is specific to your project, like name or something. But the changes like change in the conditions or something like that will be happening at the place called particular conditions. If I can find out that thing. So they have given a guideline for particular conditions. Uh, yeah, it's here. So sorry. So this is the next section which we call is as particular condition. So particular condition means if you want to change any clause, the content of clause you can do in here. So here they gave some guideline. So base date is basically tender closing date, but if you want to change that thing into letter of acceptance, the date for the letter of acceptance, then you can change it in here. So likewise, so priority of document, this is the one that I have mentioned you. So if you want to change the order, you can change it in here. If you want to add some more clauses which are not there, then you can add those clauses as well under this particular condition. So again, if you go through a rough idea, there are main three sections under conditions of contract. So one thing is general condition, which will be given by that particular standard document. So basically they will be developing those things by several researchers and having involvement of experienced guys studying the industry. By doing so many things, they will be preparing those general conditions. But if you want to change that thing, that some changes within the general condition, you have to go for the particular condition. And if you want to give your information regarding your project, that thing will be doing by, if it is FIDIC, under appendix to tender. If it is SBD, it will be given under contract data. Okay, so that is the basic idea of the format of conditions. Okay, so we will be moving to our main topic then. Liquidated damages. So liquidated damages, I think we have discussed at the class as well while we were there actually. So it is a kind, it is not a, it is kind of compensation where you can find out, you can compensate the contractor as a employer. So it is, but it is not a kind of penalty or kind of additional charge or something like that. It is just because he has delayed your project, he made it delay. Because of that, you will not receive your project on time as you have planned. Because of not receiving your project completion as per your plan, you will be losing some other benefits that you have supposed to achieve. So something like, if you are going to rent that particular building, because of that delay, you will be losing 2 months or 1 month rental of that from that building that you have supposed to earn. And sometimes if it is a hotel project, so you supposed to open up it on season time, in the season, but you couldn't open up it because of that particular contractor has delayed your project. So you will be losing that particular rental charges for hotel, or some kind of maximum profit you will not be having because of that delay. And on the other hand, when you are going to pay that liquidated damages, that you should make sure that delay has been happened totally because of the fault of contractor, not because of you. If it is happened with the fault of employer, then you cannot compensate liquidated damages from the contractor. Then you have to grant extension of time. It means project was delayed because of an error of employer or the engineer, then contractor helpless, then you have to grant some additional days for that particular person. So in that case, you will not be compensate liquidated damages. Liquidated damages will only get where contractor was not successful in completed the project on time. Okay, so but it is not a penalty, it is something like so here it is mentioned that genuine pre-estimate of the likely loss. So genuine pre-estimate means like that. So just suppose you are going to construct an office building. So that office building is not is for your head office. Okay, so currently you are in a rental premises. Because of delaying your head office construction, you have to pay additional 1 month rent for that particular tenant, for particular person as a tenant. Then that additional 1 month rental charge will be your genuine pre-estimated loss. So that loss should be covered under liquidated damages. So that is a normal thing, but under conditions they are basically giving it as a percentage. So as a percentage of the initial contract sum or something like that. But actually, if you are a good employer, then you should need to do a kind of genuine estimate when you are going to establish the amount of liquidated damages. So basically, liquidated damages will be occurred on daily basis. So basically, you will be saying, per day I want this much of money, or else per day I want this much of percentage from the initial contract sum. Okay, so it will be giving me in a daily basis, not as a monthly basis or something like that. So then but another important point is, though it is given as a daily basis, there will be a maximum amount for liquidated damages. So it might be per day it will be 2 lakhs, but maximum amount might be 20 million. Then you can only charge liquidated damages only for how many days? 100 days. So you can only go up to 100 days when it comes to liquidated damages. You cannot go beyond that, because in your contract document you have defined that maximum amount for liquidated damages is this much. So it means it is maximum, you cannot go beyond that. Okay. So these are the two important things, and it should be employer's likely loss, and it should not be a penalty, because penalty can be only charged by the courts or through the police station or something like that. You cannot charge penalties. Okay, so it should be your loss only. It's only a compensation. So, and on the other hand, while looking at the liquidated damages amount at your contract document, you can, as the contractor in tendering stage, as the bidder, you can have an idea. Okay, if so this is the time duration that I have been given for this project, but with my capacity and with my resources, it seems like I cannot complete it within this period. So then I want some additional 1 month. So then if you want to have additional 1 month, you have to pay liquidated damages, because it is your incapability. So then you all have to pay this much of money to your employer. So it is a risk. It is a risk for that particular tenderer. Then he need to cover up that additional liquidated damages cost for 1 month within his tender price. Then otherwise, if you did not do at the initial stage, at the end of the day, at the end of this project, you will be losing your profit. Why? It has been gone to your employer as liquidated damage. So then you need to make sure that it has not been losing your profit because of liquidated damage. So then it will be a kind of a comfortable situation for your contract. If all the bidders are thinking like that, definitely your contract sum will be going up, but contractors will not lose their profit. So as the professional, we should not think that always that our contractor is a businessman, he is just focused on profit, so we should not support him. That should not be your mindset. Yes, he is doing a business without earning a profit. Why? What is the point of running a business? Ne? Then if we going out of the industry, you will be losing one person from your industry. So that should not be your focus. You should facilitate each and every parties, and every party should be within your project. So that facility should be given as a contract administrator. So that is why these kind of things are addressed at the initial stage. So these kind of things are addressed by your contract document. If it is not happened, if we are going to give that liquidated damage amount at the completion date, then contractor will be in trouble, ne? Because initially he didn't know what is the amount for liquidated damage that is going to be charged. Then At the completion date only, if the employer is going to tell, okay, this much of money you need to pay for me because I'm paying this much of rental for my office or something like that, then contractor will be in trouble. Okay, so we should not make such kind of uncomfortable situation within our contract. So those things have been addressed in our conditions of contract as well. So one of the advantage, as we have discussed, is it is giving some comfortable environment to the contractor in the bidding stage when he is going to do pricing. So he can allocate that, he can identify that risk and address that risk and do some mitigation to reduce or minimize or make it zero. Okay, and make sure that his profit is with him. Disadvantage is sometimes employer side that he could not be able to predict at the initial stage, then that amount will not be sufficient for him to cover up his loss. So that will be a kind of disadvantage. But you, as a employer, you should know what is your loss if this thing is going to be delay. Okay. Uh, and so we know that it is a kind of compensate, it is a damage but not a penalty. So this Lopez in law and Redditch local boss stated that story becomes that Redditch is a tenant of Lopez. So Redditch occupied the premises that is belong to Lopez, and there was an agreement which will be renewing 6 month basis. So with by the 6 month, that though the agreement is going to be renewed here on each and every after 6 months, but there was one condition that Lopez cannot remove the changes that has been done by Redditch to that particular building, like he might be having partition or something like that. So Lopez cannot remove after 6 months, because after 6 months even they will be going to have a new agreement. So that is their agreement. But Lopez was not obliged to that condition, and he has removed rigid kind of changes and say, okay, I will not going to renew your agreement. Okay, so in that case, it went somewhere, and then finally it was decided that Lopez has to pay Reddish not a penalty, but for whatever the damages that he has made um, for Redditch facility. So that was the thing. And other thing is, when it comes to a damage, you cannot earn profit through this liquidated damages. So the liquidated damage is not a clause for earn profit to the employer. If you do not compensate any loss because of your project, then you cannot charge delay damages from the contractor, because of the delay there will not be any additional cost or any loss for you as an employer. Then how can you charge delayed damages since there's no damage for you? So in such kind of situation is there with delay damages, employers cannot make additional profit or cannot make profit or cannot be rich because of contractors money. Okay, so that is important point. It is only intention should be the damage only to cover up the damages. If contractor can prove that employee is going to compensate, or employee is going to charge a penalty, if he can prove in the front of court, so in front of dispute resolution method, then that charge of liquidated damage should be changed. Okay, so that is the thing. Uh, so if it is, seems like a penalty, then contractor can go to the court, and then court can uphold the terms of that contract. And only where the party can demonstrate that the liquidated damages are actually penalty with the court's intervention. So court cannot change our condition as per his wish, but he can change the condition if the damage can be proved as a penalty. So that burden of proof will be remain to the contractor. So I think I have explained that burden of proof mean it will be law related thing. So if it is a criminal case, the person who has so there will be a such kind of proving. So in this case, this will be going under civil case. So as a civil case, the contractor who is the party, the innocent party or who has been suffered because of this case, has to prove that other party has done this much of damage to him, this much of unethical thing to him. So then contractor needs to prove what is the error. Not employer don't want to show that he is correct, but if the contractor is capable enough to prove that that other party is wrong, then that is it. So contractor's responsibility is there. So in civil case, plaintiff is the person who will going to complain, and defendant is the party, that other party. So plaintiff has to prove. But when it comes to criminal case, uh, not the innocent party, other party will prove that he has done, sorry, again innocent party will do kind of proving. So that is go with the law of the law of contract for under law subject. But here, if you are willing to go to court, contractor need to prove this is penalty, not a damage. Then court will change the thing. Okay, so that is all about defect liability. Sorry, that is all about liquidated damages. So I think initial part of this presentation has been done in sleep with so many difficulties of you. So the two parties to the contract, client and the contractor. Client in the sense he might be identified as employer. So those two parties can raise a claim, but the engineer cannot raise a claim. As the parties to the contractor, these two parties can claim. And claims will be happen because of these reasons: defective things, any design errors, some other reasons, delays, something like that, quality issues or something like that. Then you can address that thing. You should be able to address that thing based on the situation. And when it comes to liquidated damage in FIDIC, liquidated damage is not the word that they are going to use under FIDIC document. They are going to use as a delay damages. So same thing, delay damages means the liquidated damages as well. So under delay damages, what they are going to tell in here. So then if the contractor failed to comply in accordance with time for completion date, then employer can raise a claim and make contractor to pay delay damages to the employer. Okay, so that value or the amount will be equal to where they are going to specify in appendix to tender. So it should be equal to that amount, and it should be paid every day up to the maximum level. Okay, so another point is after that maximum level of delay damages, your project will be going to become time at large. So time at large, yesterday there were a question, what is that time at large? So time at large in the sense, it means so your completion date is over and contractor is having the error, and then he has paid the liquidated damage, maximum amount reached, you cannot charge anymore, you cannot compensate anymore, then there's no completion date as per your condition of contract. So your project become time at large. It means there's no definition where you can reach through your condition of contract. What is the completion date? Then what you can do is you can ask a revised program from your contractor and then try to go ahead with that. But it is not mean that though you are going to pay delay damages, contractor cannot say that since I am paying for the employer, I cannot perform this work. Then you should find out some other person and need to cover up this work because I am paying you. That cannot be mentioned. That cannot be done by the contractor. Though he is paying delay damages, it's just because of his fault, then he has to comply with all other responsibilities. He need to do a quality work while paying the delay damages. And after the delay damages event, since it has not been over, since the handing over has not been happened, still the contract is enforced. So then contractor needs to make sure that other responsibilities has done in accordance with the contract. Otherwise, employer again can go for against contractor with those dispute resolution method or something like that. So that is all about delay damages. I think you all are clear about somewhat. If you have any issue regarding this thing, please raise as a question in your team channel or in the WhatsApp group. I will be preferred for team channel, but whatever the thing. So that's all about. Thank you.